Hello, in this video we will discuss about the diabetes mellitus 1 and 2. So let's begin to understand with the diabetes mellitus 2. This is basically the after 45 years age. It means it is caused due to the aging and also overeating, stress, no working and sugary food. It means the excess of the sugary food after 45 years, and it caused due to the activation of sympathetic nervous system due to the angriness. So in this way this is the a problem. And here is the person which that is contain pancreas. So let's begin to understand what is the pancreas, and let's begin to understand the type 2 diabetes. So here pancreas is present in the duodenum. So the side of the duodenum, and here is the duodenum, and here is the pancreas contain head and tail. It is contain also beta cell, which that is responsible for the production of insulin. So here is the exocrinally pancreas produce the exocrine hormone is known as the pancreatic lipase and pancreatic amylase and trypsin and chymotrypsin. So here is, let's begin to understand the endocrine part. It is known as the Islet of Langerhans, which contain a beta cell for insulin, alpha cell for glucagon, delta cell for somatostatin. Somatostatin is used for the growth. So on the other hand, in this case, the beta cell is used to produce insulin. How it's possible? Let's begin to understand. Here is the beta cell, and I am drawing the stomach or gastrointestinal tract. So this is basically gastrointestinal tract. The stomach wall contain a enteroendocrine cell. After the eating of food, enteroendocrine cell will produce a glucagon-like insulinotropic hormone. This endocrine hormone will bind with the GIP receptor are present in the beta cell. After the binding to trigger the GLUT2 channel for entry of the sugar, and it is without using insulin. So the ATP yield due to the glucose from glycolysis and aerobic respiration through Krebs cycle, as well as the electron transport chain in the mitochondria to inhibit the activation and increase the ATP to inhibit the potassium channel. In this way the depolarization will be occur and inside will be negative. So in this way the trigger of this depolarization to the calcium channel to open an influx of the calcium. So in this way the calcium will rush inside, and after the rushing inside to stimulate the vesicle containing insulin. In this way the insulin containing vesicle will be exocytosed, and this is known as the exocytosis. So here I am drawing the blood vessel. So how it's work? So first of all, the beta cell will produce by exocytosis the insulin into the blood circulatory system. So here is, you can see, this is the adipose tissue as well as the muscle tissue which contain a cell. So in this way this is the myocyte or adipocyte, and in this way the insulin receptor is the normally condition. For example, healthy person contain a insulin receptor activate. After the binding with the insulin to the signal transduction cascade will be occur, which that is lead to trigger the GLUT4 vesicle inside into the cytoplasm to exocytose into the plasma membrane, will binding with the tetrate formation of the GLUT4 channel. So the glucose will move inside, and in this way the hyperglycemia will be decreased normally in the blood. But if insulin receptor will be damaged, so in this way the hyperglycemia will be occur, the high level of glucose. It is known as the type 2 diabetes. So when the glucose will be enter, here is, you can see, this glucose will be enter, and it either convert into the glycogen or convert into the pyruvate and ATP produced from the mitochondria by the production of acetyl-CoA. And electron transport chain and Krebs cycle is used for yielding of the ATP. So the one glucose molecule produce 36 ATP. 32 to 36. So in this way here is the insulin receptor will be damaged, so the insulin will not bind, and influx of the sugar will not occur. And in this way, the hyperglycemia, it means the blood glucose level will remain high. So here is the type 2 diabetes uh, can be recovered by the exercise, increased growth hormone, and it means the increasing of the insulin and insulin like um, growth factor in the liver. While the food is complex carbohydrate, high protein, and fats, in this way we can eat less food to uh, decrease the glucose level in the blood for normal function. On the other hand, the medication can be metformin, which that is used for the insulin like growth factor like structure, which that is allowed to absorption of sugar. So in this way uh, we can uh, we can create a level of the glucose. It means the basically the level of glucose in our body is basically 110 to 90 millimole per deciliter. So here you can see that is the diabetes mellitus 1 is the different, which that is the autoimmune disorder during the 25 to 22 age. So here is the B cell, which that is after the insulin or antigen containing insulin. Basically, insulin is the antigen because it's protein. We recognize by the B cell to after the provide the piece of the antigen which by MHC class to recognize by the T cell receptor of the T cell, which that is CD4 molecule, which that is after the recognition to the T cell receptor will recognize by the dendritic cell. It is known as the antigen representing cell, and it represents the T cell, and this is the CD8 T cell, CD8 molecule containing T cell. After this T cell activation to also, but the B cell also produce the auto antibodies, and in this way the auto antibody will collapse the beta cell and destruction through a T regulatory cell. So the T regulatory cell will not work. In this way, the T cell will be kill the beta cell or destruction. So here is the nephron of the unit of urinary system is contain afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. Afferent lead to move into the glomerulus, while the efferent is lead to reabsorption and make a vasa recta. And in this way, here is the loop of Henle, proximal convoluted tubule, and distal convoluted tubule and collecting duct. And in this way, the filtrate in the form of sugar and water, and sugar will be not reabsorbed because the blood glucose level high. It means the excretion through a urinary system is important for normal function. So in this way, the water loss due to the glucose and potassium and sugar, calcium, hypokalemia formation, and glucosuria. And in this way basically the loss of this mineral important ions, which that is loss of sodium will lead to muscle fatigue, nervous disorder and nervous dysfunction, blood volume loss, low blood pressure and high blood pressure when the glucose level will be high, and loss of conduction and loss of water. In this case, the loss of potassium will lead to nervous disorder, osmolality, impaired brain fog, impaired osmolality of the blood, and loss of water and Parkinson disease as well as coma. And the loss of calcium will lead to muscle fatigue, nervous dysfunction, bones homeostasis will be decreased, and cardiac beat dysfunction and heart attack due to the calcium, because calcium is very important for the conduction of the nerve impulse. And loss of glucose will lead to hypoglycemia and weakness, ketogenesis, glycogenolysis, and um, uh, and ketoacidosis, as well as the nerve damage and polyuria and polydipsia. And in this way, the ketones will be produced from the liver. So let's begin to understand what is the ketone. Here is the fat in the form of adipose tissue will convert by the lipase enzyme to triacyl glycerol to monoacyl and free fatty acid. This free fatty acid move into the blood circulatory system. after this movement and go into the liver and convert the ketones and beta hydroxybutyrate, keto acid and glyceraldehyde. And in this way the ketoacidosis will be occur. And in this way we can clear in the type 1 diabetes through insulin. So insulin injection, foreign insulin, which that is prepared in the lab. So in this way diabetes type 1 and type 2 is